This is going to sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not.
Warner Brothas Podcast. Welcome back. I am one of your hosts, Kyle Warner. Tonight, it's just a solo show. It is just me. The fellas will be back this weekend. We've got a nice NFL show planned for you guys that I think everyone's going to enjoy. But tonight, it'll be a bit of a short podcast. A short and sweet podcast, we'll say. We are 24 hours removed from what was a historic night in Miami. And if you're an NBA fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Bam Adebayo scored 83 points in 4 quarters and is now second all time in a single game for scoring in the NBA. Bam Adebayo, of all players. If you did a draft for NBA players to score 70, let alone, break Kobe's 81-point mark, which we'll get to Kobe's side of things here in about 10 minutes because I have a lot of thoughts on this subject. But if you did a draft for a player to score 65 points in regulation in the NBA, Bam Adebayo wouldn't even be in the top 40. And that's me being nice. He probably wouldn't even be in the top 50 or 75. There might be bench players who can just, get buckets that you might take before Bam Adebayo. Not saying he can't score. I believe he's just over 20 points. I think he might be at 22 points a game this season. Whatever. Let me give him some respect because, that's just to point out the randomness of it all. You wouldn't pick Bam to score 50 in a game, though we've had some random 50-point games, but you wouldn't pick Bam to score 50. You wouldn't pick him to score 60. And let me give you my point of view of what happened last night. My vantage point. All right, so I'm about 5 minutes from home. Brandon Petty, who the listeners and viewers all know, texts the group chat and says, "Oh, guys, Bam Adebayo's got 62 points heading into the fourth quarter." Brandon, we got jokes. It's a group chat. Everyone's got jokes, but all right, Brandon's not usually he wouldn't be sarcastic about a point total. So I'm like, either he is being sarcastic and Bam's got 0 points heading into the third or heading into the fourth against the Wizards, or this is really real and I actually got to look this up right now. And so I did. I'm 5 minutes from my house. I pull up the app, look at the Heat Wizards box score, and sure enough, heading into the fourth quarter, Bam Adebayo has 62 points. That's super random. And by the way, at that point, I'm like, that's super dope. How the hell did Bam Adebayo get 62 points? I'm like, I think I texted the group chat right after that. I said, I've officially seen it all. If Bam Adebayo has 62, granted, it's against one of the worst teams in the league, the Washington Wizards, but it's still an NBA team. So I'm like, man, what did Bam do to get 62 in 3 quarters? How did this happen? Brandon also chimes back and says, yeah, he had 31 in the first. Apparently had 43 at the half. That's incredible. I don't care who you are. That's incredibly tough to do. You obviously got to be in some sort of zone. And, if you got 43 at the half, you're in striking distance to if you want to get 70 or if you want to really, that's the thing. I was about to say, if you really want to attempt, but you can't attempt these things. You can't just attempt to go get 80 in a game, 70 in a game, 60 in a game. It's not that easy, obviously. But if you got 43 and a half and you got the rhythm going, you've got potential for specialty, for a special moment. especially if you're facing the Washington Wizards, right? Again, I'm about 5 minutes from home when he's got 62. So my next natural question is, because it's a blowout, Heat were already up by 25 plus, I believe, at that time. My natural question, because we've seen this a ton of times in the NBA, is Eric Spoelstra actually going to play him? Is he going to let him ride it out for a little bit, see if he can get to 70? Which I'm all for, by the way. I actually hate when coaches take the hot hand out in a blowout, especially if it's like a 20-point game, right? If it's out of reach, but it's still within reach, let the guy go for like 6 minutes. So I checked the app again, and the quarter started, and Bam's actually playing. I go, shit, that's kind of dope. And before I even get home, I think he gets up to like 66, first few minutes in. I'm like, God damn, like what? I got to see the highlights. Like, what is going on with this game? I eventually get home. I eventually turn the game on. And what I see after that, as a basketball fan, as a diehard NBA fan, I was, can't say I was too impressed with. I led off the show saying it was a historic night in the NBA, and that's true. Any way you slice it, it was a historic night for the NBA, for Bam, for the Miami Heat. It's all true. But what I saw for the last, I don't know, say the last 8 minutes of the fourth quarter, it was lunacy. It was insanity. You could even call it comedy to some degree. Man, I mean, the Heat, once it really got down to it, I mean, let's just start. He started shot hunting, which is fine. We've seen that. You can shot hunt, especially if you get the hot hand. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with Eric Spoelstra keeping him in, by the way. I know I mentioned that, but like, to be clear, like, I even hate in the NBA when it's like the last 30 seconds and the team that's up in a blowout dribbles out the shot clock, then the other team dribbles out the clock. I hate that. Just play to the end. And I hate when players get pissed that like the team that's up by 30 shoots the ball with 10 seconds left, when they should be running out the clock. Who cares? If you couldn't stop in the first 47 minutes and 30 seconds, what the hell difference does it make? If you can't stop in the last 30 seconds, play defense. I don't care. If I was on the court, I would not care if the other team that's blowing us out got one more shot up or dunk up. Up to us to stop them. Up to your defense to stop them. In this case, the Washington Wizards. It's up to them to stop them. So I have no problem with Eric Spoelstra keeping Bam Adebayo in at all. What I did have issue with was giving Bam the ball and just letting him try to go 1-on-5 and foul hunt and shot hunt. Again, the shot hunts, whatever. You want to do damage to your field goal percentage, whatever. But trying to get fouls. And then late in the game when he gets close to 80, intentionally fouling up 25. Why? I was even okay with, there was a block. They called a charge on Bam Adebayo late in the game, probably 3-4 minutes left in the game. And again, Heat are up 25. They challenge it. Unsuccessfully, but they challenge it. I was even okay with that. It's the intentional fouling to get him more opportunities. It was him just barreling into bodies, trying to hunt for these 80 points, and then eventually passing Kobe's 81, who was, looked like he was going to have number 2 locked up for a long time. If there was ever an era you would say like it would get broken in, it would be this one. Because of the pace, because of the shooting. And Bam got his 3-pointers in last night. I think he had 7. But hey, man, I would truly say the last 14 points is kind of disgusting by Bam Adebayo. Let me read you his fourth quarter stats while I'm at it. All right. He, in the fourth quarter last night, mind you, again, he had 62 going into the third, going into the fourth quarter, was scoring within the flow of the game. So he plays 11 minutes. plays 11 minutes, scores 21 points, 3 of 8 from the field. This is in the fourth again. 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. 14 of 16. So 14 of his 21 came from the line. And a lot of those were just like, imagine this happened in like a junior pro kids game, right? Like a friggin', you know what I mean? Like if a kid was trying to get 40 in a game against 8-year-olds and there was, a minute left, how that would look. That's essentially what it looked like for the Miami Heat. It was already cool. It was already dope that Bam had 62 going into the fourth. Everything that happened, again, I'll say 6-minute mark on, it wasn't basketball. You hear, speaking of the late, great Kobe Bryant, you hear Kobe Bryant or you hear LeBron James say, I've never cheated the game. That last night was cheating the game. No, they're not literally cheating to win, but how many players, speaking of Kobe, speaking of LeBron, speaking of Michael Jordan, speaking of Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, name an NBA great, James Harden, Steph Curry, how many times could they have had a 50 or 60 point game through 3 quarters, up big on an opponent, could have poured it on in the fourth and either sat or played within the flow of the game and just didn't get that total? They all could have intentionally fouled. I'm sure Luka, when he got 73 last year, could have intentionally fouled or set it up to where he, got to 80 or close to 80 or over 75 if there was an objective to do so. If my memory serves correct, and I think Donovan Mitchell got to 70 about a year and a half ago. If my memory serves correct, not long after Donovan Mitchell got 70, I think Embiid, and I'll look this up for you guys. I'm pretty sure Embiid got, let's look, Joel Embiid. He got 70 plus, I believe. Yeah, okay. So January 22nd, 2024. Joel Embiid scores 70 that night. Some NBA fans might remember Karl Anthony Towns on that same night, same exact night that Joel Embiid scores 70. He gets on a heater. He's got like 50-something through 3. I think he eventually gets to 60. And I think they were up a little bit in this game, and they tried getting him shots. They tried force-feeding him so he could get 70 like Embiid. And their coach comes out after the game in a win and speaks out against how the Timberwolves were conducting themselves, trying to get Towns up to 70. Going away from the game plan, going away from the game of basketball. Because, again, what you saw the last 4 or 5 minutes last night wasn't basketball. That's not something you would see on a court anywhere, right? Maybe in your, in a YMCA league, yeah, maybe, okay. Even then, that shit would be lame. If someone did that to you in 2K, that shit would be lame. If they started intentional fouling just so their player could get 70 or 80, that shit would be lame in a video game. And the Miami Heat, who, funny enough, everyone praises for Heat culture, praises the way they do things over there. Heat culture, really? Y'all are keeping your man in there 11 whole minutes in a 30-point blowout? Fine if you want to do that. I don't care if you played all 12. I don't care if you played all 12 minutes. But intentional fouling to get to get the ball back quicker, to get him more attempts so he can throw his body into some Wizards players again and get 16 foul shots, 43 total. I just read a stat that said that was 13% of his foul shots all season just in last night's game. Again, it was already cool enough that Bam Adebayo left his body and scored 62 points in 3 quarters. And I would have had more than enough fun watching that entire fourth quarter, watching him chase to get to 70, because it would have been hard just to get to 70. 8 points is tough in the fourth quarter when, you got triple teams on you, which we saw last night with Bam. Bam might not see another triple team the rest of his life. He's seen them last night. But how he got to 83 when Kobe, who had 81 in a close game, they actually needed the 81. By the way, in the same season, he scored 62 through 3, which I think he's done multiple times. I think he had another game where he had like 61 through 3. I don't know. But he could have came back in. Lakers could have intentionally fouled the fourth quarter, try to get Kobe more shots. You know how fucking lame that would be? I can't wait because Brandon Petty, he's a Heat fan. Again, he'll be on this weekend where we're talking NFL. And he's excited about it, which I get it. It was still a cool moment. Everything was cool up until 4 minutes to go. I've said that a few times, but it's true. Most of that night was cool as hell. Everything about it was cool as hell up until, again, those last few minutes there. Then it's kind of like, all right, what are we doing here? So, and you know what? You got me saying this, but you've got a lot of, or I don't want to say a lot, but you've got a number of coaches, a number of players, a number of pundits around the league who are saying the same thing as me. Like, what the hell was that? What are we doing? Oh, Bam scored 83? What'd it take for Bam to score 83? If he scored 83, what'd it take? And they're right. And they saw the 43. Oh, we got 43 free throw attempts? Oh, okay. That's why you got, you know what I mean? And that was them being nice. They even talk about the intentional fouling and, let's give them the ball to go full court and just, see what happens. They didn't even talk about that. Reason why this is important, though, and why it's extra ugly and extra disgusting to me, is this league already has this problem, this identity issue where it looks like maybe the players don't take the regular season the most serious. Looks like maybe the commissioner doesn't take, what the optics of the league the most serious. I've definitely accused him of that. Keenan has accused him of that. I'm not a fan of how Adam Silver runs this league. Even down to the coaches not wearing suits anymore. Like, it just nothing about this league looks serious. And even with that, even with all the stuff I dislike about the league, and there's a lot I dislike, and I know it leaks out here on the podcast, like me and Keenan will get to complaining about the league, but there's still a lot I love about this league. By the way, this is in the middle of an incredible stretch we've had since All-Star break. I've had incredible games just in the last 5 days. Nuggets Thunder, that was an incredible game. We had Spurs Celtics last night, which was a great game. Timberwolves Lakers followed that. That was a great game. Clippers played that night. Clippers playing a good one too. But they're night to night, there's amazing games. Between contenders, between playoff teams. We got Spurs Nuggets tomorrow night. Nothing but good games, good teams playing in these games. Celtics Nuggets the other night too. Thunder, we just had so many good games since the break. And this is rightfully so going to be a story. But again, signifies what people don't like about the league. These guys don't take it that serious. A league where when Kobe met his untimely passing in 2020, all these guys, especially in Bam's generation, talked about how much they idolize Kobe. And this is the type of shit they do, on top of the load management, on top of sitting national TV games, right? Early on the season. We're not seeing it as much right now, but mid-season, you got a game on NBC that you want to watch. Looks like 2 playoff teams. Yeah, good chance maybe a star or 2 is sitting with an injury, right? Left knee soreness or some shit. And we've been lucky enough not to have that down the stretch here with these matchups, with these games. And yet, again, if the casual fan wants to accuse the NBA of being unserious, which they would, which the diehard NBA fan would as well, and the younger generation would push back, which is fair. They've got valid arguments too on their side as why the league may still be great. This was kind of an encapsulation of what's wrong with the league. Because you had professional players acting like junior high players out there trying to get their mans however many points. That's what it was last night. And it was disappointing to see. And it's extra disappointing because shit was cool before that. Everything was cool up until, again, those last 4 minutes. But by hook or by crook, number 2 will be Bam Adebayo after Wilt Chamberlain, and Kobe Bryant will be number 3. And now whoever wants to top him's got to get to 85. Good luck. So needless to say, no, I was not a fan. I was kind of sick afterwards, not to sound OD or anything, but I was like, what is it? What part of this is cool? And then thankfully, people were, like I said, people were measured. People were congratulating because it's tough. Even if you were going out of your way to get 80, it's tough to do that, which clearly they were. But that doesn't make it any less disgusting. To champion that, to parade that. Again, I don't want to hear shit about heat culture. If this was a lesser team, if this was a team that didn't have a certain amount of prestige and respect, maybe I think differently of it. One thing differently of the event, but maybe I'd be like, okay, that's that organization, that's that franchise. We expect that. Or I could see that. Not with the Miami Heat. And guess what? Maybe I would not be surprised if they got a target on their backs after this. Bam's 83 will damn sure have a target on it, which is insane to say because it's not something you can just go out and break. Unless maybe you conduct your business all 4 quarters like the Heat did in the last 4 minutes. Maybe that's the way. I don't know. I don't want to give any teams ideas here. But yeah, I guess congrats to Bam. Shit was kind of corny. Shit was more than kind of corny. Shit was all the way whack. But a historic, insane. If you want to look at it through the comedy prism, you probably could. Because there was parts of it that was funny to watch. But once we got to 81, it was like, all right, what are we actually doing there? But hey, today's NBA. Real quick, the biggest story in the NFL right now. Trey Hendrickson. Well, first, let me give the whole story here. Ravens backing out of the Max Crosby trade. Max Crosby apparently failed his physical. People were getting their Brian Windhorst meme on, you know what I'm talking about? The Rudy Gobert thing. You remember? Remember that with Brian Windhorst? NFL Twitter was getting that on last night. Like, oh, I wonder now if this means the Ravens will sign Trey Hendrickson. And then not even 24 hours later, the Ravens sign Trey Hendrickson and obviously get to keep their 2 first-round picks that they sent over to the Las Vegas Raiders. But to be fair, Adam Schefter reported other teams backed out once they saw the health concerns or the physicals from Max Crosby. Time will tell what is true. That's what I love about this. It's not, if it went down in a seedy way, like some think it might have, like if he wasn't really that injured, because Max Crosby's agent comes out and says, hey, everyone knew if they were going to trade for Max Crosby, he would be out up until this date. There was no confusion there. He will be ready for training camp or week 1 or whatever. He said there was no confusion. Ravens back out. Sign another impact pass rusher. Not to Max Crosby's talent level, but an impact pass rusher nonetheless from their division rival. So not only do you cripple division rival, you strengthen yourself and you keep your first round picks. It's the stuff of villains right there. So on the entertainment side of things, I love it. I can't wait. We got drama brewing in March. League year started 2 weeks ago, or what? A week ago, whatever. League year just started. We already got drama. I love it. I'm going to save the NFL talk for this weekend because, again, we'll be going in on the NFL. We got lots to say. We got lots to discuss. And just a cool topic. Well, you'll see. A cool theme that we have from Keenan. Keenan's been working on it, and we've already discussed it. It's going to be, we did the over-unders for championships for players in the NBA about 2 weeks ago now. Go check that out. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. Go check it out. Now we'll be doing NFL over-unders, which, might not just be championships. Y'all know how it works. I ain't got to explain. Y'all will love it. That's a promise. But listen, I'm going to get out of here. I just wanted to vent about whatever the hell that was last night. Yeah, it's cool. A player got 80, but 80 plus, 83. But what he did to get that 83, I'm sorry, I didn't love it. And unfortunately, it encapsulates, again, what the NBA is, at least the regular season, what it is today. Results-based, unserious, and what about views, social media views, social media hits, more than like the actual product on the court. That's Adam Silver's NBA, unfortunately. But in saying all that, about a month from now, probably about 5 weeks from now, actually, we will have the NBA playoffs starting up. And it is shaping up to be an incredible playoffs. Absolutely incredible. I truly think this could be the best postseason in 10 years. Matter of fact, I'll put a number. I'll put the 10 years on it. I'll say it could be the best postseason since the 2016 postseason. Obviously involved, 3-1 comeback from the Cavs, 3-1 comeback from the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. Thunder over the Spurs, semifinals. Heavyweight matchups all around. This could be the best postseason since that. And I'm sure if Keenan was here, he could fill me in on if there was a better one between 2016 and now, excuse me. But that's the first one that comes to mind. And I think these playoffs, they have a chance to eclipse that. I think we are going to have heavyweight matchups damn near at every round on each side of the coin in each conference. I can't wait. I'm out of here. Warner Brothas Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all Warner Brothas Podcast. Come find us. Come listen to us. We love it. Keep up the conversation. We love it. We love the hate. We love the love. We love all the interaction. Peace.